I just want to know if my hair looks good.
Always.
Is it as fluffy as I think
Every
it is on the
minute of the
side?
day.
On the sides?
Yeah. You got a good fluff going on this side, curling
Come
up.
on, dude. I just want this whole episode of us coming back for you to just compliment me the whole time.
Okay.
We can talk about your vacation. Like, oh, I went on vacation. I'll go. So how do I look?
But what do I look like? Welcome into the Really Randumb podcast. I'm Colton Pettyjohn. That's Drew Bolden.
Hello!
Hey! And we're coming in with the energy. It's weird because this is the first time in a long time that we've done it's been a month and a half since we've done an episode, but it's been a minute since we recorded like this late at night.
Yeah, it's
pretty...
yeah. Because the last time we recorded at like noon or something, and you go, man, what is coming through the window over there? Like, the sun.
Yeah.
And hey, we know what you're thinking. Does it look different behind us? No, nothing has changed since episode 1. This is the exact corner we filmed in. We had.
Wait a minute.
What the? Oh my!
And the lie detector showed that was a lie.
Oh!
Actually, we've got a lot different.
Glory.
If you're just listening on Spotify, then switch over to YouTube, and you could see our lovely new background.
We actually definitely had this last episode, but we didn't have the wood wall.
We got the wood wall, baby. And I just want to give a huge shout out and thanks to my best friend, Drew Bolden. I came home from my vacation that we'll probably talk about a little bit in this episode.
A lot of it. I want to pick your brain a lot.
But I came home. He picked me up from the airport because he's amazing and he's my best friend.
Wife me up.
And
I'm telling you.
The best in the world.
Ladies, wife it up.
I come home and I didn't even realize we had talked about doing this wood wall for like 6 months. Like a really long time.
Yeah.
And we also talk about doing an accent wall over there. And so I come in from vacation and like the house is like has all of our podcast stuff in the house. And I was like, oh my gosh. And you had mentioned something about like cleaning it up or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
and
yeah,
then I came in here.
All the stuff was in the hallway and I was like, yeah, hey, the only reason that stuff's in the hallway is because I was vacuuming and no other reason.
That's all.
No other reason.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, and you were like, well, I don't like the way you said that.
Yeah.
Then he walked in and it was like this.
Dude, it's so good.
It was, and I was going to try to get it done before you, like I was going to have it set up like this before you got home, but I still needed to add another coat of stain.
Yeah.
But this is the first like house, what is it? Like house
project?
Renovation or project that I've ever done,
dude.
Like,
and you did a great job
to completion.
I
did have a little bit of help from Sarah and Jodan, so thank you both.
Thank you.
And because dude, the hanging up this wood, like just doing it board by board and not doing it how normally you just buy the pieces and put them together, we just went board by board, screwed them in, and then it took way longer than I thought it would. So Jodan was visiting, and he was very nice, and he helped me. So
thanks,
thank
bro.
you, Jodes.
I'm sad that I missed you.
I could kiss. Well, he didn't even really want to see me. He was just like, hey, I'd rather not see my niece, which rude.
Yeah, God.
That's rude. You know what he said about his niece? He said, she's the ugliest baby I've ever
don't
seen.
say that.
I know
that's not the truth.
Jodes, thanks for helping. Sarah, thanks for helping as well. The wall to your right, stage left is gray, and I have a picture. I'll post a picture of it. But awesome. Literally, the only thing that I want to talk about on this episode, and I was not influenced at all, is Colton's vacation because he was gone. You were gone for
11 days.
11 days, not long enough. And he just did a solo dolo type thing because you wanted to find your zen, find your center.
Yeah, it was funny because like we talked about, I said I was going to go out on a vacation by myself. I had a bunch of vacation days I need to use by the end of the year anyways. And so I was like, I'm just going to go by myself. And, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on up in my head and a lot of just, it's a horror show up there sometimes. Things. But I was like, well, maybe alone time to myself will help me figure some shit out, you know? And turns out being alone by myself is like the worst place to be, you know? When you want to escape yourself and then you're by yourself for a whole 11 days, I was ready to get back. I will say I had so much fun and I traveled to a bunch of different places on the East Coast. but I will never do a trip like that by myself. I would rather have you or some other friend. Okay. That's just too much time to myself. Like maybe a couple of days by myself, but 11 days on my own, it's like...
Yeah, because it was originally going to be like 14, right? Like
yeah, well, originally I was going to go to Europe.
You were gone? Oh, my.
Yeah.
Dude, and well, so here's my answer to that. I would have gone if I was invited.
You were in. I mean, shut
Honestly,
up. Anyways,
no, I definitely would not have gone.
I was about to say I don't think you would have.
Yeah, and he invited me. You're crazy if you think he didn't invite me.
I was about to say you literally invited told me, you kind of, but I'm always like, I get my feelings hurt when I get rejected, and I hate.
Should be used to it by now.
You would think, but I hate when Drew doesn't want to do something that I want to do, and so I just don't invite him. So like,
that's a lot of things though. I would much rather, and you know this, and you guys know this because you've been watching, is I would rather sit at home with. Mm-hmm. Netflix. I was gonna say with my thumb up my ass, but I didn't.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I mean, I do that while watching.
Stop telling the truth on the podcast. But
and the lie detector says that you are
that
the father.
Was the truth.
Oh, Jesus!
I hope
that's
you're
not
the
what
father.
we were testing. Okay, so you went, and I think that it is important to hang out by yourself sometimes.
Yeah,
but 11 days seems like a long time.
That was a lot.
But I honestly wish you were still gone. Just kidding. I'm sorry.
No. I'm joking. And I'm literally gonna jump off a bridge. So or a cliff. I went to some areas where they had some pretty steep cliffs. Oh. Thought about jumping off a couple times. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you?
We're honest
we're riffing,
here.
We're rapping.
We just want to be honest with you, and we want to tell the truth.
Is there a point where? Never mind. That was gonna get really dark. I missed you. You know that. But no. So how did this trip come about? And why did this trip come about?
Okay, so the trip initially was going to be to Europe at this time. It was going to be October 10th. And then they canceled all the stuff to Europe because of COVID still. And so I booked this vacation back like March or April, back when all the COVID stuff initially started. So the plane tickets and everything were super cheap. So it was awesome.
Oh.
But
right.
So they canceled my trip. So
rude.
That sucked, but I was like, okay, well, I still want to go somewhere. So I was like, well, how about Oregon? I want to go to Oregon and then make my way down, go to Utah, because I know there are a lot of like really pretty places, and I wanted to go see like I wanted to go to some like national parks and like some really cool outdoorsy areas.
Nice.
So I booked a trip to Oregon, and then the whole state of Oregon caught on fire.
Oh.
So
how dare you, Oregon? Stop being so selfish.
And they
Colton
were
wants to see you.
Yeah, and they were closing down some of the national parks, and I was like, well, I don't want to go to Oregon and go to like Portland, you know.
God forbid.
There's a lot.
Can you imagine being in Portland ever? Golly.
There's a lot of like
need to find one of those cliffs and jump off.
Right. I think there's a lot of like rioting and shit going on out there.
Oh.
So definitely don't want to be there. But so then I decided.
Is that where all the whole Black Lives Matter and stuff happened? Was Portland?
No, I mean
that was like
that's
Michigan.
happened like Michigan everywhere. But
I thought that there was a joke I missed. So I'm like, I'm gonna feel dumb if it was like something in the headlines that I missed.
So I think I can say this now because it's already happened.
Oh, geez.
But so when I went to cancel going to Oregon and I was gonna reroute my plans again, but I was like, where am I gonna go now? Where am I gonna start? Or am I just gonna go to Utah? Or what am I gonna do? Our friend Sarah, her sister's boyfriend was planning on proposing to her in Florida, and it was at the same, like it was at the very beginning of my vacation, October 8th or 9th or whatever, and so Sarah was like, you should come down for that. And I talked to Cameron, and he was like, dude, that'd be awesome if you can. And I was like, hell yeah.
Imagine if he was like, no.
He's like, no, I don't want you.
God, that sounds awful.
But they invited me out, so I was like, okay, I'll start my trip in Florida, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So I bought the plane ticket. I bought a one-way plane ticket, and then I was just going to figure out what I was going to do next.
And nothing is going to go wrong because two things have already gone wrong, right?
What? Yeah. Yeah. Nothing's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
So we've already had Europe canceled. We already had Oregon canceled. So it's smooth sailing from here, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Wrong. So
what?
Sarah's sister got. I don't know if I should say she got COVID, and so they had to cancel the plans to do the proposal. So they pushed back the plans to do the proposal. He just proposed like yesterday or a couple of days ago. So
what did she say?
She hesitated, but she said yes.
Oh, did she say like, all right?
No, I don't know. She looks really freaking happy in the pictures that I saw. So, anyways, so I was like, well, I'm not going to cancel these tickets. I'm just going to go by myself because I was going to start and hang out with them a couple days and then go on my vacation. And I was like, well, screw it. I'll just start there and go by myself. So I go to Orlando, and anyone that watches the NBA knows that the bubble, the NBA playoff bubble, was in Orlando. And so when I landed, I was like, how cool would it be if like I ran into someone that was like in the finals or playoffs? And I'm like, well, they're in a bubble, so they're not going to leave. So there's no way I'm going to get to go, see anyone like that because everyone's closed up. So I was like, dang it. Well, I land in Orlando, and I already had all my bags. I didn't check anything on, so everything was carry on. So I was just walking to go get an Uber, and one of the guys told me, hey, walk all the way down to the very end of this area and then go outside, and that's where the Uber will meet you.
Dude, airports are the most confusing things in the world, and I think they just kind of like designed it, and they were like, just put roads wherever the hell we can.
Yeah, and just figure it out.
Yeah.
So I start walking down that way, and I'm about to call an Uber or get an Uber, but my phone is like almost dead. And so I was like,
your phone is always almost dead.
I know. So I'm walking down to try to figure out, hey, A, where I'm supposed to go outside to catch the Uber, and B, if I can find a place to plug in my phone. So I'm walking around, and I eventually am able to find an Uber. It's about 15 minutes away.
Gross.
And so I wanted to make sure that my phone was fully charged. So I go walking around, and there's a really long hallway, and it's like the baggage area where you can pick up your bags. But because like no one is in the airport, like those were all shut down. So it's like a very like ghost town, vacant area. The only people that are down there, but the only people that were down there were the people that were catching rides, like to Ubers.
Okay.
So there were a few people very sparsely like down this long hallway. So I go, and the guy told me to go all the way down to the end of the hallway and then go out the last door. So I go down, and as I'm walking down, I'm almost all the way down, and I see this guy who has a cart, like one of those little rolly carts that you can put like your baggage on.
Like a bellhop cart?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a bunch of bags that like were like stacked this high, like about 4 or 5 feet high. And they were all Louis Vuitton bags. Oh. And this guy was about 7 foot tall. Oh. And I walked up and I saw him, and he's in.
Oh, was it a basketball player?
He's in sweatpants, and he's in a hoodie, and his hood is on.
Were they gray sweatpants?
I think it was black. And he had his mask on, and he had his sunglasses on. So he did not
sneaky.
want anyone. But I'm like, when you're 7 foot, like you can't hide that.
That's tough.
So I walked past him, and turns out the very last door was locked. So I had to walk back past him. And he had his luggage right here, and he had his phone plugged into a charger.
Ooh.
And
you unplug his and go, F off.
So I walk up, and I'm trying to like look and see who it is. I was like, okay, 7 foot tall. And he's got Louis Vuitton bags. So I'm like, it's probably a basketball player. This is where they had the bubble. So it makes sense for there to be basketball players there.
So the finals were over, right?
No, the finals were still going on. So it wasn't going to be anyone that was on the Lakers or the Heat, but I was thinking maybe someone that got eliminated like right before that. So like
I can't even think.
Maybe was it the Bucks or the
was it Giannis and Tinky Pinky, dude?
No. Oh. So then I'm kind of looking at him, and I had walked down away and someone had like come up to him and like, hey, and they took a picture with him. His back was turned to me, so I couldn't see his face. I was like, dang it. So I go, ah! I was like from, hey, who are you? So
no, I was thinking of like the where you yelled the hey, like you're like the last episode where you thought those band kids were yelling hey at you. And you're like, yeah, what?
Hello. So I walk over and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for my Uber anyways, and I need to charge my phone too. And like I said, the phone, there were only like 2 plugs throughout that whole hallway.
That pisses me off.
He was at one of them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, here's an excuse to go like, up to him.
What that thing do?
So I walked up to him. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Like I took my headphones off. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. My phone's about to die. Is it cool if I plug next to you? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And he just very like, didn't really want to say much. And so I'm like, I have my phone plugged and I'm looking to see how long it's going to take for my Uber to get here. But the whole time I'm like, I think I know who that is.
I wonder how often that happens to. So it was a basketball player.
It was a basketball player.
Okay. So I don't want to guess because I'm not going to know. But I am going to know because you told me already. But, you
I thought I already told you.
Yeah. You got to know that they're probably used to people going like,
I know, but I didn't want to be like, back about 5 years ago when I was doing a bunch of like radio stuff and like meeting athletes every once in a while, like I was not ashamed to be like, hey, do you want to take a picture? Because they're at like an interview or whatever, and so they're not being bombarded by people in public. But like public, I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
I get it.
And so, and I know that he's gotten it a billion times before probably. So
I mean, like us when we're out and about and people ask for pictures for us.
Yeah, I'm
like,
guys,
leave us alone.
I'm just trying to eat with my family.
Yeah, and we're like,
and then I'm like, I don't have a family.
I'm
by myself. I have my pants down around my ankles in public.
At a McDonald's? Is that why you called me to tell you? You told me to come pick you up from jail?
I'm not allowed to go to McDonald's anymore. So, anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm like,
did you pull out your Big Mac?
I'm like, I have a good educated guess of who I think this is, and I heard him talk a little bit, and so I think that kind of gave it away a little bit. And so I was like, right before my Uber was about to pull up, I unplugged my phone and I looked at him. I go, hey man, I don't want to be like annoying or rude or whatever, but I have to know, like, I think I know who you are. And I go, are you, and I almost said it, and he, I swear to God, this is exactly what he said. He goes, he took his sunglasses off and he goes, yes, it is me, Serge.
Nice.
And I was like, so Serge Ibaka. And the way that he said it was like, as if I was looking off into heaven and there was a bright light. And I'm like, wait, is that you?
My God. What if he said,
he's like,
it is me,
yes,
Jesus.
it is me, the Lord. So I was like,
Jesus is black. I knew it.
I immediately got down on all fours and I was just like,
started doing
I
what?
cannot, I'm not even Catholic, and I was crossing myself and I was like,
you should have crossed him up. You know what I mean? You used
and
to it.
I looked up and he was gone.
What?
Yeah, just like that. He vanished. And then I turned around. He was outside.
Oh, okay.
He was waiting for his cab or whatever.
What if he got in the Uber with you, dude?
That would have been awesome.
Oh, you should have been like, hey, this one's on me. But also, did you pay for one already? So.
But also, you have more money than me, so you probably. But I know that's like a really bad act. It is me, Serge. The way he said it was like, yes, it is me, Serge.
I wonder, like, I think I would fuck with people so hard if I was anyone, at all. If anyone cared about who I was, I think I would just be like, yeah, it's me, Carrot Top, or something like super weird.
And they're like,
or
no,
or yeah, it's me, LeBron James, or something. I would say someone who was darker skinned. Serge Ibaka, that's cool.
It must be really nice to now have the excuse to. Well, he already can put his hood up, and now he can wear a mask, and so he doesn't have to worry about like people. But it's still, when you're 7 foot tall, you're still gonna get people looking at you. Like, he stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
I took a picture of him as he was about to out when he was talking to someone right before he got into his.
You should have stolen
Uber.
one of his bags, dude.
Dude, I bet you one of those bags costs like $5,000.
Okay, again,
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, we have a mortgage to pay, Colton.
Yeah, you're right.
And all these, hey, these weren't cheap. This Renault.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It was fine. But you didn't get a picture with him, did you?
No, I didn't. But I took a picture of him, so I do have proof that there was a tall guy there. There's no exact proof that it was him.
I'm just gonna start taking pictures of tall people around. Oh, you know who that is? It's Sean Bradley.
I wouldn't want to take a picture with him.
What? Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
You out of your damn mittens. No,
I would want him to cradle me though. I probably look like a freaking baby.
I think I would have sex with a tall guy just for the
clout?
story. Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think he was like, yes, it's me? Oh my God, Colton Pettijohn from
Pettijohn?
the Randumb podcast. Why is he have an Indian
I don't know what kind of accent that was, but
it's so weird not having our headphones on.
I know.
Like I realized that halfway through. Like I don't know if you can hear me, and if you can't, I don't care. Also, I didn't start the timer in time.
What happened?
Hey, I tried to start it, and then it didn't work, so we have 40 more minutes left.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, you idiot.
I landed in Orlando, and I realized very shortly after that I didn't want to do anything in Orlando. Orlando sucked. I mean, it doesn't suck. But it's very like
Beach.
touristy. It's very like amusement parks and shit like that. And I wanted to do a bunch of like outdoorsy stuff. I wanted to go see some like cool places. So
you're so healthy.
About an hour and a half away is Daytona Beach. So the next morning I woke up and I decided to take an Uber out to Daytona. So I Ubered out there, and I had been once before about 3 years ago with my ex. It's always, and I think this is a really good tip. If you have memories of you and an ex somewhere, I think it is honestly really important to like go back to that place and make new memories.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, I wasn't like holding on to any of those memories because
only when I bring them up.
But yeah, but
to
like
torment you.
But now when I think of Daytona Beach, I don't think of the time I went with my ex and her family. I think of the time I went by myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and I made new memories by myself. So,
yeah.
That was good. A lot of fun. But I forgot how much of a, and if you live in the area, sorry, but how much a shithole that place is. It's like only on the beach is it nice. Mm-hmm. Everything, if you go one street away from the beach, it looks like a third world country. It's so bad.
Dude, we were talking about that driving through like downtown Fort Worth, and we were seeing all these old buildings. And one street, we went down one street and we're like, we are going to get robbed.
Yeah.
Somehow we're going to get shot up on the block and we're going to die. And then we go over another street and these brand new high-rise apartments. We're like, okay, we're good now.
Yeah, we're good.
There's like people walking their dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
We're like,
yes. But it's so weird how you can go like literally like one street over and it be the difference. So was
there a lot of people on the beach? I don't know, like, because like outside you don't really have to worry about COVID unless you're like up in someone's taint. But like the if you're 6 feet apart from each other.
Well, there were some areas and some days like closer to the week because I got there on Friday. So I landed in Orlando on Thursday. Then I went to Daytona on Friday, and then like Saturday and Sunday.
I wanted to ask if there was a lot of people on your flight too.
There was a decent amount there. So
like, were you sitting right next to somebody?
No, they on every flight that I took, they have either window or aisle seat, and they left the one in the middle open. So
you're still like this far from someone?
Yeah, but the entire time, everyone you have to have your face mask on the entire time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and they try to do a good job of like releasing people and, one at a time. It's, it's whatever. I
mean, if you're going to, that's like, I don't know. We were watching the World Series and yeah, they're spread out 6 feet across from each other, but there's someone like right behind them and right in front of them. Like, what was the meme that was like, good thing COVID doesn't travel vertically. Like, that's so stupid to me because like you're on this plane and it's recycled air anyway. So
yeah, but they
an hour and a half.
They tell you that they put in new air ventilators and filters and blah blah blah, and it's like whatever. It doesn't matter. And I'm not really. I just wanted to get the heck out of here, so I.
Well, welcome back.
Thanks. I'm glad I'm back. But so I spend about 3 or 4 days in Daytona. Mm-hmm. Probably a little too long, to be honest, because Florida's okay. I'm not.
There's a reason why it's called Daytona and not 3 Daytona.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's something.
Wait. Yeah.
So, went on the beach a couple days, and then I decided to go to this place called Blue Springs State Park. Ooh. And it's about 45 minutes away. Now, the scary thing is, it's like kind of inland and kind of not in the middle of nowhere, but kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I was taking an Uber out there, and I was like, so I was able to get an Uber out there because I was in a main city, but I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to get one back. So like the whole night before, I'm just like super nervous, and I'm like, oh, I hope I can get reception when I'm out there. So wake up the next morning, I head out that way, and I go walking around. So Blue Springs, there's it's really cool. It's like a little watering hole area, and it kind of flows out into like this big body of water, like a big lake. And one of the many draws is they have manatees there. And if you don't know what a manatee is, it's like a freaking
look in the mirror.
Oh gosh.
What? That's what you told me.
Well, I told you. I'm not telling our listeners. They're not always all as fat as you. So
yikes! I didn't miss that. You know what? Go back to 2 Daytona, dude.
That's good. Thank you. So I went out there, and I was just walking around. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I walked around a bunch, and I saw some of the manatees kind of like floating by, and they have like these little tags like attached to them. So
like a go-kart flag.
Kind of, actually. So you can see when you can, like above water, you can see where they're going. So like they can keep track of them. Or whatever. I'm not sure exactly the sole purpose of it, but so I decided to go out there, and you can rent a canoe, and or a kayak or whatever, and you can go out and you can kayak with them. And so I went out and I kayaked, and I went down this little canal area, and it was a pretty, I say thin, but it was probably maybe like the width of our house, probably shorter than the width of our house, and you can just kayak or canoe down there.
That's huge. We have a huge house.
But there are several different people that, not a bunch, but there are other people out there kayaking and canoeing around.
Nice.
And I see one of them coming towards me, and I know that. So manatees are supposed to be very like docile, very just kind, sweet. Like they don't attack. They're not vicious at all. But dude, when you see something that's like 1,500 pounds, and it's literally like there was one moment where I was kind of getting close to it because I kind of wanted to look closer on it, but I was a little nervous. And there was a moment where I was like this, and he was coming at me like this, and he was probably about 6 inches right underneath the water.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, I shouldn't be worried, but I'm kind of worried because he was coming right at, and
that flag could hit you too.
Yeah, but it was, dude, it was so cool. Like seeing something that big, that close.
Did you poke him with your old?
No, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to put your hands in the water or mess with them.
I would have been like, and then you would be doing the show by yourself.
Yeah. Well, if you did, yeah.
Actually, that'd be a great show.
So, anyways, it was super cool. I saw a turtle. So then I go to, you can go down this canal.
Don't just skate over. You saw a turtle. How big was it? What kind? Was it a big boy?
It was a pretty big one.
It was. Did you touch it?
It was probably about the size of a basketball.
I love turtles, dude.
Dude, it was pretty cool. I did not touch it. It was up like there was a tree that was coming out of the water, and it had just come like right out of the water, and it was like sunbathing out.
What color was his headband? Which one was it, you think?
Ninja Turtle. I got it. I was like, huh?
Like Cones to talk about the turtles, dude. That's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Never.
Oh, I was like, what?
It was. They were in the sewer, and Jake goes. He made some joke about Ninja Turtles. Anyway, keep going, Colton.
So then I go out to this big, the big like lake area, and I just wanted to kind of like kayak around. And there were a couple other people out over there, and So as I'm going out over there, I see along the banks was an alligator.
Oh,
and he was swimming along the banks. So I was like, oh God.
Shit.
And I was like, it was weird because there were moments on this trip where I felt like I was like, you know what your problem is? You've stayed in your comfort zone for far too long and you've been too much of yourself. You need to start being
someone interesting.
Yes.
Oh.
And so I was like, this is not something that I would do, but I want to get closer to the alligator. So I like got pretty close.
Oh my God.
Like I went up and I was like, this is stupid, but I'm going to get close.
That's I've never stood in front of a target at a shooting range, but I've never done this, so I'm going to do it now.
Yeah. Colton normally wouldn't do this, so I'm going to do it. So I went over there and like, when I got close enough, he like ducked away and like left. So I think he was scared of me.
What a pussy, dude! You're so freaking scary, dude. Were you looking at him like, "What's up, Gator?" He's like, "I'm a crocodile."
But as soon as I turned around, I was like, "Oh my God!"
Thank God. He probably smelled your urine in your pants. Was like, I don't. That shirt was white when you bought it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's it. I like that shirt, by the way, and we'll talk about it later because I know.
Yeah.
You're
Martha's Vineyard.
Not at Martha's Vineyard yet.
No. So, but anyways, went out and I like had this weird like goal in mind where I was like, I want to isolate myself and I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't even want to go out and make friends. I want to like do this by myself. Mm-hmm. Well, this is like 3 or 4 days into the trip, and I kind of was like, I miss people. So I was kayaking along, and there was a canoe with 2 people in it, and so I started talking to them. They were super nice, and turns out he works for he's like the high up of a radio station, like a big radio station company. And I was like, that's freaking crazy. Like, hello? I used to work for a radio station.
What is this?
And I do a podcast, and I told him about the podcast, and she said she was going to write it down, and like the wife said she was going to, look it up. Actually, I should text him. So anyways, I got their information. Super nice. And
wait, you showed him our podcast?
I was, I didn't show them, but okay. I told them the name of it, and so maybe they'll watch it. So I don't know.
They don't. This is awful. I'm going to ruin any sort of like if he thought that you were any sort of professional, if he goes to the episode and sees us in the rompers, he's gonna be like, no.
Yeah, no, we're not. I was thinking about hiring, but so I super nice, and they were camping out there, and they were staying out there for like 2 weeks, and he was doing like all of his work remotely from like their camper, and so they had like a hotspot and stuff, and so he was like, hey, he was like, what are you doing now? And I was like, well, I need to get an Uber to get back to my place. And he was like, well, would you want to like come back to our place, have a beer, and then you can call your Uber there? And I was like, sure. So I went back and I got a beer with them. They were super nice.
Okay.
And
he didn't say like, hey, let me show you our bedroom real quick.
No, God, no. But they were so sweet. And thank God that they offered me a ride back to their little area, because I had zero service. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to. And the front of the park was like 1.5 miles away, so I was going to have to walk up to the front of the park to catch an Uber.
That's so far for me, but I feel like you could run there in 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but it was a long day, and it's like if you've ever been to like a state park, a lot of them are like windy roads.
Yeah.
And I would not want to walk on that while cars are going by.
Dude, I went to Arches in Colorado, and I went. Now it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong here, but I don't like for 2 hours driving around looking at arches. I'm like,
yeah,
sweet. Can we go on them? And you can't, because like some of them are like walled off or fenced off. Mm-hmm. But yeah, state parks are beautiful for like an hour, and then after that, I'm like,
especially the places where it's like, how beautiful is that? You can't get anywhere near it, but how beautiful is it?
Yeah.
Now admire it from far away.
Look, it's so nice.
Yeah. So they let me use their hotspot to call an Uber. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And I was able to get back to.
Thanks for not killing him, by the way, because no service, they could have killed you.
Yeah.
But I guess you had service when you got to the hotspot thing. But
yeah, but they were the ones that gave me the hotspot, and I got their numbers, and so I've tried to stay in contact with them a little bit.
They block you already, you think?
Yeah, they haven't responded yet. So, but that's kind of normal. I'm used to people not responding to my messages. So.
Oh, shut the hell up! It's the other way around. I can't get you to respond.
Well, I'm talking about women.
Oh, well, some people say I look more like a woman with my long hair.
Hot.
Also, it's nice to not have a headset because I can do this all I want, and you can look at me and say model, and I'll go, "It is I, Serge," or whatever you say.
Yes, it is I, sir. Nice. So I decided to, after Florida, I was like, I really didn't want to be in Florida that long, anyways. No offense to anyone that lives in Florida, but. So I went to. I decided to get a plane ticket to Boston. I was like, I've always wanted to go up in the Northeast. There. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty exciting up there.
The only reason I say things is to get you. Don't worry, I'll cut it.
No, you won't.
And the code word for cut it is I won't cut it.
So. Anyways, I went over there, and it was like a overcast, dreary day, and I went down to the harbors. It was a super cool area. And again, like, I'm not really an explorer, and I don't like to try new things a whole lot. But I was like, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm trying new things. And one of my friends said, if you're in Boston, you have to try clam chowder. Like, that's what they're known for, so you got to try it. And I'm like, I'm not a seafood person, but let's do it.
Yeah.
So I went to this place, and it was called the Union Oyster Club or something like that.
Oh, like blue. No, never mind. That was
no, it's not.
They just have oyster in it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like the Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, I mean,
3 words
kind of,
oyster in the middle.
That's
so stupid.
So went to this place, and the really cool thing about it is it's like the oldest like restaurant in Boston. Dude. It's like it was open in 1836.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So it was like super cool. Like you walk in there, and it looks very old. Yeah. And there's a lot of like really cool, interesting things about like the Constitution up on the wall.
Ooh.
And each booth they have a
We the People,
like a figure.
Oh wait, it's Bill of Rights.
Well, I mean, it's
what is the Constitution? How does that start? Who cares?
I pledge allegiance. No, that's not it. So
Canada.
That's but it's like,
dude, is our old building so cool though?
That dude, awesome.
The architecture
like
is
that area was super cool.
It's so sick. Like we're watching Peaky Blinders. Just to cut you off, I want to talk for a minute. We're watching Peaky Blinders, and it's shot in the whenever the hells, and it was
like 1917.
Yeah, 19. You know, 18. Whenever the iPhone was invented.
Yeah,
and the buildings and the architecture of like the churches that they use and the buildings and the old towns are so, well, I mean, I guess it has to be like so crammed because no one really had cars unless you were rich.
Yeah.
But like it's so cool to see, and then now you see all the houses that look exactly alike. Like in our neighborhood, all the houses kind of look alike. But where's the creativity anymore? You know?
Well, and that's the cool thing about like that whole area is
it's like
very old.
Yeah, like the older part of every city. Or like downtown of every city has really cool buildings.
Yeah.
And then you can always tell when something's new because it looks new. But and don't get me wrong, new architecture is cool as hell. But like the old timey town is where it's at.
Yeah,
and there's so much history and shit.
The newer ones look so much more manufactured, and it's all about
the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah, and it's all about saving. Like, how can we do this more cost effective? And it's not really about how it looks; it's about the structure of it all. But back then, like the look of it was like the appeal. Yeah, and there's all that kind of stuff, like the courthouses and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Every freaking courthouse in every city looks so cool. Like, isn't the courthouse in Dallas like it looks like a palace? Is that the
the Malice and Palace? The Palace at the Malice. The Malice at the Palace.
That's not it.
No.
That was the fight, right?
The Pacers fight. By the way,
what a great
Ron Artest. What a bitch.
Yeah, I could fight him.
Of all the athletes, who is the one athlete that if you could get a sucker punch and they couldn't punch you back?
Oh.
Who would it be?
Ryan Reeves, probably.
Oh, hockey.
Him, dude.
All right.
He has 4
what you
want to
do on your own time with other men.
I'm gonna Dude.
Oh God.
Just kidding. He's out of my league.
That's true. So
I was in beer league. He was in the NHL. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that league. I thought you meant that he was too hot for you, which he is.
Wait a minute. He's got a good body, but I'd kick his ass. No, sorry. I'd
sucker punch the shit out of him.
I'd suck something. What is up with your laugh lately? Colton has been hitting me with the like, you know how when you type out.
I told you I'm trying new things.
Yeah, well, you should have got. You should have gotten. No, you should have gotten eaten by that alligator. Oh. So you know how people laugh on texting and stuff with like ha 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 or bah ha ha or
ja ja ja.
Well, that's like the Espanol version. But Colton has taken it upon himself to do the actual live version of PAHAHAHAA. Because, like, dude, not even kidding. Like, the last 3 days, I'll say something and you'll go, and I'm like, okay, chill, dude. It's not that.
I think you're giving yourself too much credit.
No, you laugh really hard. Also, I'm out of this.
I know I want some more.
But hey, if you haven't seen Peaky Blinders, pick it the up.
Oh, yeah. So good. We're super late, but.
Yeah, it came out like 2 years ago.
No, a lot longer than that.
1917.
Yeah, 1917 came out a long time ago.
Anyway, so back to your vacation.
So
that I was invited to.
Yeah. So then spent one night in Boston. That was fun.
Oh, how was the clam chowder? Did you like it?
So good.
So what's in clam chowder? Clams?
I don't know, but it was good. It was really, really good. Now it was also
don't know. It was great.
It was also really, really expensive. Everything there is expensive.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah, so I just stayed for the clam chowder, and then I left. Didn't even pay the bill, and
I wouldn't admit that. What was the restaurant? I won't send this to them.
Blue Oyster
Blue
Cult.
Oyster Cult, right?
Yeah. So then the next day I decided
Oyster Colton. How did I not? Oh Lord, never mind. Keep going.
So the next day I decided to go to, I heard that New Hampshire was beautiful.
Oh, the Hamp. That's what I call it.
And is it? No, is that what they call it? And so I got a rental car, and I drove up to New Hampshire, and it's only about like an hour and a half away from Boston. And
did you get a sick rental car? Like what was it?
I got a Toyota Corolla. It was like a 2020. Like, it was a really nice car.
That's fancy.
Hey,
Colton has money.
No, it was just a nice. It was a nice rental car, and it was relatively cheap. And so I was like, I don't know. I would definitely driving one of those bad boys around. I would get one if it was given to me for free. So Toyota.
They see you.
The ball's in your court.
They see you rolling the hating.
I don't think anyone was hating.
Balls in your Corolla.
Okay. So
Sorry.
So I went up to, and what I was told was the Kangamangas Highway in
Tingus Pingus
in New Hampshire was where to go. Like, it's a long stretch. It's like 40 miles of just beautiful scenic views, and it did not disappoint. I went up there, and there are so many different trails, and it was just super cool. And it was one of those things where it kind of forced me. It kind of forced me out of my comfort zone. It forced me to get off my phone because I had no service. And it kind of forced me to just like enjoy and embrace. And I think one of my big things about this trip, my like big mottos was enjoy the moment. Like fully embrace, and like you don't get many opportunities to go and do stuff, especially by yourself, and have no responsibilities and just enjoy it. And so put your phone down, disconnect, and just enjoy it. And so,
like when you're at a concert and people are recording the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
sometimes it's just like,
you idiot.
Yeah. And
no one's watching it. Nobody cares.
No
it
one
sounds
cares.
Awful.
And that was one of the reasons why at the first part of my trip, I would post a few things here and there on my story.
You really didn't post as much as I thought you would.
And then I stopped because I was like, I took a bunch of pictures, and I'll post some stuff later on. But I was like, I think it's more important to just really embrace the outdoors and the scenery and just like really take it all in.
Because it's not bad when you take like a minute or two to take photos, and then you have the rest of the 6 hours to hang out or whatever. Like, that's fine. But if you're doing that the whole time and like doing videos of like, look, I'm on the Kangaroo Highway. What was it called?
The Tingus Pingus Highway. It was the
Kangas Mangus.
Kanga Mangus Highway.
Kanga Mangus, right. But I think that's really cool because like I always like you were always one of the first ones to like want to take story photos or whatever, which is fine. But then I was expecting like 20 a day. And when I saw like 1 or 2, I was like, I'm proud of him.
Yeah. And this trip, I mean, I think another thing that I tried to...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just... One of the other things that I tried to kind of really embrace and enjoy and like stick to was this trip is for me. Mm-hmm. It's not for anyone else.
Right.
Like I'm not posting
these... take your own trip.
Well, it's not like I'm not trying to post these pictures and say, hey, look what I'm doing. Hey, look how cool my life is. It's not about that. I don't really care about that. Yeah. It was more important for me to just have this time away and do this for myself. Because I feel like a lot of times people post stuff on Instagram and stuff just like they're not super interested in doing the event. They're interested in showing you that they did the event.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And like that wasn't why I went on this trip. I don't care if anyone even really knew that I went on this trip. Yeah. It was for me to do by myself. And so... anyways, I went on a couple trails for 2 days on the Kangamangas highways. I just like went all about like all across New Hampshire.
Were they paved or was it like rocky trails or?
No, it was rocky. Most of the trails were rocky and they were out in the middle of nowhere. They're in the forest. There's a bunch of like falls and stuff like that. So like waterfalls. It was really cool.
Beauty.
Yeah. So I got
were people
a
on
couple
like bikes or did you see a lot of people there chilling?
Yeah. Actually, there were quite a few people that were on these trails, and I would say about half would be wearing their masks and half weren't. I didn't wear my mask because I wasn't around anyone, and anytime I was, it's just like. Being outdoors and stuff like that, like, and we're nowhere near each other. And if I were to, like, I didn't pass anyone that was in front of me unless they stopped. Yeah. But, like, I didn't get anywhere near them. And
yeah, it's your trip. It's not theirs. Don't get close to me.
But I also, like, I felt bad at first for not wearing my mask. When people would walk by and wear a mask, but I'm like, oh, come on, you're not going to get it. And I'll look over this way. I'm not going to cough on you. What if I walked over like, I pull down their mask and I start making out with them. And I'm like,
men only. Yeah. Because women, gross, cooties.
So I did that for a few days. And then I decided to jump over to Maine. And there's this place called Portland, Maine. And they had this.
That's the only Portland you care about. It's the Portland, Maine.
And I got to see this really cool lighthouse. And Maine is just a really cool area. Now, there's something interesting about Maine because Maine is like the south of the north.
Oh, that sounds awful.
And when I say that, I mean there were areas backwoods where you hear down. You're like, oh, I better turn around. Oh, I'm going to die.
I was like, just turn the radio down, man.
Oh, yeah.
Or change the song.
No, I don't want to hear that. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting areas up there.
Well, no, you're fine. You're white, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that doesn't. But like
the south of the north.
Yeah. There were some areas where it's just like, by the way, there was a ton of, I want to show one of the pictures there because some of the states up there are swing states for
swingers.
Yeah. Because they're swing states, a lot of couples were coming up to me wanting to see if I wanted to throw my keys in the fishbowl, you know?
Wanted to see your Kangamangas?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It's not paved. I don't know, dude. Okay. Shaved? I don't.
Well, you know, it is shaved.
Okay.
So
this is your podcast.
But on the way, or when I was in Maine, actually when I was in New Hampshire and Maine, there were so many political signs up, everywhere.
God. Yeah.
And there were so many, like anytime I turned on the local news stations, or not news stations, but like the Fox or ABC or stuff like that.
After going through 10 country stations to get to something else.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is like 10 countries in a row, then rap, and then the Christian, and then it's like 10 more country stations.
No, I'm not. Sorry, no, I'm talking about like TV. Like when I was watching TV, every commercial break there was like a smear campaign, like a pap smear campaign. You know, and
it is smear, by the way. It's not.
No, it's schmear. It's like a cream cheese schmear. But I took a picture of this trailer. And I send it. Did I send it to you?
Yeah, you did.
We have to post that. Okay. But it's of Trump.
Did you smear your shit all over?
Yeah. It's of Trump on the back of a trailer. He's on a tank with like fireworks going off in the background, and I think he's holding like a gun or something. And I'm like, oh my God.
Are you
and then
sure
on the
you went on
side,
vacation? Are you sure you just didn't go outside?
Yeah, I went across the street and I saw a Trump 2020 rally. But
they have sheets on, like hoods over their heads.
I thought it was just ghosts for a while. I was like, you're a little early for Halloween, but all right. And then they put a cross in our front yard and started. I was like,
oh, like incense or something?
Wow,
that's insensitive.
That's pretty good. So, anyways,
welcome back to hell, guys. I've missed making these jokes. I've been making them to myself in the mirror because Colton's been gone and I wasn't invited.
But
it's been crazy.
Here's one of the things that I thought you were gonna get tired of. I missed you so much, and I know that sounds gay because it is. That I was like texting you almost every day saying how much I missed you.
That is the most you've ever texted me. In
I know. I was like,
week
dude,
and
I
a half
miss you.
span.
I miss you.
Yeah. So go somewhere where you're bored enough to talk to me. Because at home you can, do whatever.
No, I wasn't bored. I had a lot of things to do, and I was out having a good time. Mm-hmm. But one thing I did want to say, kind of hitting on that.
We got time. 8 minutes.
Was I think that moving forward, I guess, do you think that women, because we do, every once in a while, we do date women. Do you think they get, not jealous, but, what's the word?
Envious?
No, like.
Turned on?
No. Do you think they get like a little intimidated by how like close we are, like relationship wise, like friends wise, because like
maybe
and I know I've had girlfriends in the past that like they make a lot of jokes about how how close we are and how gay we are with each other and blah blah blah. But I legitimately think there are times where girlfriends or people that I date or talk to, or maybe that you talk to, make those comments, but it's also like a little bit of an insecure.
Jealous. Yep. From the deep down pit of their unfunny hearts, they're like, what? I hope he sees me like he sees Colton. Because I look at you a lot like this, like.
But it's also like.
And other times I'm like, fucking die.
Like when
that alligator comes back to get you somehow.
When I want, like the next relationship I'm in, I want my wife or girlfriend or whoever it is, I want them to be my best friend. And or like equal to my best friend. And so like they have there's a high bar set because you're up at that level. And so every girlfriend or spouse or whatever wants to be like their spouse's or their significant other's best friend. Mm-hmm. And so I think it can be intimidating at times when you date someone who they have a friend that they're super, super close with.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the truth? I know that you're joking around a lot, but I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, no, I do think that there's some sort of, because I've definitely heard this from someone recently. She knows who she is. And she always says, y'all have such a cute relationship. And yes. I was like, you should see what we do at night.
A lot of girls say that kind of stuff that we've talked to or whatever, like they will comment on stuff like that, and I'm like, I legitimately think like they don't have a problem with it, but I think there's like some sort of like,
you know what it is,
maybe insecurity, like I want to be as close as Drew is to Colton or what. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now I think what it is jealousy, and I'll be I'm 100%, I'll back that up 100%, and I'll back you up 100%. Colton. The reason why I think it's jealousy is because, and studies show, and these are not studies I just made up in my head, mm-hmm. that women can't hold a friend for very long. And how many girls do you know and guys just how many girls do you know that have had the same best friend through grade school, middle school, high school, and into their adult lives?
Ooh.
That's at least 20 years ish. How many? None. Every guy, most of the guys that I know, unless they're psychotic and act like women, have the same. This has become really hated towards women. Look, I love women and I love the chance to kiss a girl. So let's
not broad stroke it.
Okay,
but
every woman is stupid. I'm kidding. Every man is stupider. How's that?
Yeah. I'll stand.
No, I do love women, and I do love you, but I love you more. And women can't figure that out. They can't figure out how to love each other without saying like, well, Brenda's cute, but she's gained a little bit of weight, But it's like...
I've got a guy friend that's like that.
Yeah, his name is Greg.
He's Greg.
Which I have to go pick him up from the airport. And if he calls me fat, I'm never picking him up from the airport again.
What if he called you, like, as soon as you pull up?
Hey, fatty.
Like, God, you've gained weight. I'd be like, nope, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I am wearing my 7-Eleven shirt.
By the way, so I want to say real quick, there is a 7-Eleven. Drew loves 7-Eleven.
So
much. There is a 7-Eleven literally maybe a mile away.
I don't think we need to go into
and
what happened.
He loves it so much that he won't leave and he gets it DoorDashed here.
No, that's not.
You leave a little more now.
That's not wrong. Well, now that I got my sticker on my car.
Yeah, but he used to order 7-Eleven all the time. Like they would drop stuff off at our house all the time.
The DoorDash people with a job.
Yeah.
Is what I come to. No, because like Greg is parked behind me and I can't leave. It's tough and the economy is on a downturn.
No, but you're super supportive of 7-Eleven. So
and look, this shirt. Much so the shirt was on sale. Now, what did I say yesterday? I was like, "Hey, let's go to 7-Eleven." And I go, "Wait, I got to change." Because I was wearing this shirt. I put the shirt on to see if it fit, and I just love 7-Eleven so much. But I didn't want to walk in to 7-Eleven wearing it. Maybe I do. Maybe I'll get the guy behind the counter to sign it. Every 7-Eleven I go into, I'm going to get the guy to get or girl, whoever's working there, to sign it.
By the way, I also went to Martha's Vineyard. And it was fine. It was Jaws is based out of, or I think it was shot in Martha's Vineyard.
You know what made me upset?
What?
Not at you, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you pull out that really nice looking long sleeve shirt, and I went, I hope you got me one.
I know.
And then you only brought one out, and I went, and I didn't say anything. I was like, oh man, that'd be nice to have.
I didn't get anything for it. This is the only thing I got for myself too. So
but I love that shirt because it's so cool. It's like a shirt that I would wear. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe if
all right, I'll go back.
Look, Colton, we are no longer friends.
Sorry, I talked about my trip the whole time, but
I hated that episode, dude. Let's just scrap the whole thing.
That's fine.
Let's throw it into some jaws of a calculator. Why was I going to say that?
I don't know. I don't know why you say half the things you say.
Well, I got to say, it is nice to be back. And we have... now, look, I bet you're all wondering, and every single person watching is wondering,
mm-hmm.
what have you guys been doing for a month and 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things, Colton. Now, tell them in order what we've been doing.
Having mental breakdowns and trying not to commit suicide.
And that's taken up about a month and a half for us. No, so like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I just get in my own head about stuff that we do, but I looked at Colton one day and I went, I don't like the podcasts that we're making. And so I don't want to record any until you come back. And he was like, oh, cool. I'm glad you made that decision without talking to me about it.
No, but we had both kind of mutually, like, we didn't even like really talk about it a whole lot, but we had just kind of like decided to take a week off. And then we took another week off, mm-hmm. and then we took another week off. And I think we were both just in a very like kind of down place, and we just needed a break. But I hope that we can come back and recharge. And
we're going strong from here on out.
We're excited and we're looking forward to doing other things besides just. And I know we've talked about it a bunch about doing different videos, but
mm-hmm.
From here on out, we're really gonna commit to just put a lot more effort into the content that we make, not only podcasts but videos, reactions.
We're going to
blogs,
annoy your
TikToks.
feed. Yeah, TikTok. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I know. I've been on the train of like, anyone do TikTok, But like, I like TikTok.
Yeah, and you got to stay on the cutting edge. I've been watching a lot of like YouTubers and influencers and stuff like that, and it's all about adapting to what everyone else is doing. Yep. Even if you're 30, 40, 50 years old, if you want to stay relevant, you got to adapt to
So from now
everything.
on, Colton and I have decided, we both talked about this podcast is going to be strictly about politics from here on out. So the best part...
Bernie 2012.
Yeah. Who? Brody, who's that?
Burning Man? Bernie Sanders?
Burning Man 2012. 2012? It's 2020, man. We both voted. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm really excited about next week's episode. We already have that one planned out, and you're going to love it. And if you don't love it, then you're out of your damn mittens, okay? And I'm going to make that phrase a thing because I made it up one day because I was wearing my mittens and it was cold and I was like, I'm out of my damn mittens. I don't really remember where it came from, but thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I don't think I said a single word in this episode, but Colton, thank you for talking about your vacation. Let's go on a vacation together, but we'll actually like document it. What I wanted to do was record you coming into the thing going, oh my God, you're so talented. But you walked in and I wasn't ready.
Oh, wow.
You idiot. And also it wasn't done. So... Yeah. Whose fault is that?
It still looks great,
dude. Yeah,
appreciate it.
I think just looking through the viewfinder there of like when you were just sitting there, I was like, it looks so much better than just a plain ass white wall. Yep. Because
agreed.
I don't think we could have been any more racist because we're white and the wall was white and our logo has white in it. We got to put some brown. Well, it's like more red, but anyway. Again, for the third time, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. That's Colton Pettyjohn. I didn't go on vacation with him. Thank you for watching. Clancy, send us home, baby.